My name is Mark DeVito. I started restoring antique furniture when I was a kid. Working with my dad, who was once foreman in the Erskine and Danforth plant in Stamford, where European craftsmen made over 1,200 reproductions of furniture. Over the next 40 years, I've been restoring antiquities, artwork, furniture, furnishings, glow leaf frames, refinishing, restoring furniture, and currently I'm working on a TV show called Flea Market Flip with the host, Lara Spencer.
In this episode, I will talk about chair repair. Before this happens to you, let's discuss a few things. First, the history of chairs. Earlier chairs were made to last. They were strong, they had square lines, heavy stock, stretchers, backrests, corner blocks. They were hard to make. It wasn't as convenient. They were made to last. As working and tools progressed and styles have changed, chairs have gotten more delicate, more angles are added to the design, and this all has had an effect on the durability of the chair. Finally, chairs were mass-produced, made by the hundreds in factories. This has also had an effect on the durability of a chair. Look at this shieldback chair from the early 1900s. Here's an exposed glue joint. The top of this doll is square. The sides are smooth. It's a 90-degree edge from the top to the side of this doll. The problem is when glue is applied, it can't flow over that square edge, make it into the glue hole. It's held all on the top of the doll. If the top is rounded off with a rasp, the glue then can flow over this edge and down the shaft. The doll on the left has got a square top and smooth sides. The doll on the right has got a rounded top and scratch sides. This will hold more area in that hole than a smooth doll will. Now, a chair with a tall back has got a lot of leverage. It's easier for it to wiggle back and forth, and over time, it could crack the back right where it meets the seat. We'll see a repair on this later. Now, chairs without stretchers, either between the front or between the back legs, that prevents wiggling, and chairs without them will wiggle and get loose quicker than chairs with them. Now, these are nails that someone has added to a joint. They hold for a little while, then they crack the joint. All the chairs made in the 18th, 19th century were made by animal bones or skin that was boiled down. This is rabbit skin glue, and that held the chair together. Over years, that gets very dry and brittle. It breaks like glass. Glues that are too strong, like this yellow carpenter glue or stronger, only creates a plate in the glue joint. The white wood glue is thinner, it seeps in, it holds the pores, and it bends a little if stressed out. Now let's check a chair. How do we know if it's loose? If the chair wiggles front to back, you can hold it with your hand and knee, then the side rails are loose. Now, holding the front left and right corners, if the chair wiggles side to side, the front rail is loose. The back of the chair is checked the same way, by wiggling it side to side. Now, this is an upholstered side chair. I'm going to show you a trick on how to repair this loose chair without removing all the fabric. It has springs in it, accordion springs, and it's a lot of labor to replace it. But this is what you do. You rip off the black cambric from the bottom of the seat, and on the front left and right corner, you have to open the upholstery, remove the brass tacks, cut any hand thread stitched areas that might be there. That's all going to have to be placed back after the chair is repaired. Using a rubber mallet, I'm tapping the chair open and removing the stretchers. I'm using the fabric as a hinge to tap the front legs over and down to expose these two mortise and tenon joints. I'm now going to tap open the front legs apart, remove the stretcher, and expose the mortise and tenon joints between them and the front rails. There they are there. Now I'm going to take my little modal tool and my wood rasp, and I'm going to clean out all the old glue that might be in any of the holes on any of the mortise and tenon joints. Going to clean it all off so I have a nice area for my new glue to hold on to. The wood glue is applied to all the joints. Doesn't take too much to work. And I'm going to use my rubber mallet and reassemble the front legs and the front stretcher. Tap it together. I'm then going to fold the front legs back into the mortise and tenon joints, and now expose the two back legs, tapping them open, exposing their mortise and tenon joints. Again, glue is added to the joints. We're going to insert the stretcher back into the chair. Now, using wood clamps, I'm going to clamp the chair on each side, front to back, and then add a chair clamp between the two front legs to squeeze the front rails together. That's how you would clamp this chair back together. The next day, you would have to stitch back the front upholsteried edges and put the brass tacks back onto it. We're now going to repair a chair that's going to be a little more difficult to clamp and repair. This chair's got a lot more angles to it. It's not square. It could be done one at a time or in one day. I'm going to try to do this one in one day and show you how to do it. We're going to take the chair completely apart. You can see every joint in this chair has got these square dowels on it. We're going to rasp off all the glue, round off all the dowels, and put glue in all the joints and reassemble this chair. Sometimes I glue the fronts and backs and then the next day cross them, but I'm going to show you how to glue this in one day. This is a belt clamp. It's a long strap with a handle that you turn. Tightens the chair. Short clamps are added from the front to back legs on the sides to squeeze them together. This block of wood is added to the side stretchers to create a square area for me to put this clamp and squeeze the stretcher together. Short clamps are used to squeeze the arms down to the seat frame. Now a board is added between the two front arms to keep them from changing their distance from each other. And I'm now going to add a clamp to squeeze the arms together. This will create a tight joint where the arms meet the back of the chair. Now the top back of the chair is glued down with short clamps from the top back to the cross stretcher. The last thing to do once the chair is all clamped up is to add the corner blocks with glue and screws in each joint located right there. Now this chair is going to be a little more difficult to repair because it has a bent wood curved back, bent wood curved arms, and bent wood curved stretchers. When the top is removed, we find again all the turnings on the tops and bottom are all square 90-degree edges, brittle glue. So this is why this chair has gotten loose. The glue is brittle. It was a weak glue joint. We are going to rasp out and prepare the chair completely. This is the seat with the legs off of it. Rasp out all that glue. Re-glue the chair. Rubber hammer them all together, the legs into the seats. First we're going to glue the back legs to the curved stretcher. These short clamps actually hang over that curved stretcher and are tightened to the back legs. These small pieces of sandpaper keep the clamps from slipping off the legs. The short clamps are now used from the stretcher to the front legs with the sandpaper to squeeze them together. Now a long clamp is added from the back of this curved stretcher to a board that runs between the two front legs. The clamp is tightened, squeezing the stretcher into the front legs. This long clamp is used to squeeze the top back down to the seat. Now boards are placed across the seat and clamps are used to squeeze the boards down to the top of the workbench. This will squeeze the legs into the bottom of the seat. The arms are squeezed down with short clamps. This chair has a crack where the back meets the side rails. A piece of wood is inlaid a ½ inch across the stretcher and 3 inches above and below the crack. Later it's hand planed flat and you just have to do a good touch-up job to make it look invisible. This chair is missing the left side. The pieces are there but they're broken. The turnings are now short, and to repair them I grafted a piece of maple to to the ends of each turning. This way, with a hand plane, I can recreate the shape, make them longer, and use the original pieces to reassemble the back like this. Trim off the excess wood. Beware of the upholstered chair or any upholstered piece. When you see a nice antique piece upholstered, when the fabric's off, you expose the frame. This is a piece of wood that's added to the bottom of the rails because the rails are chewed up from being upholstered so many times. The tacks can't hold anything, so these boards are added so the tacks can be held to the rails. The front of this rail was actually broken. There's a piece of wood added in there, and another upholstery tack edge added to the bottom of this rail. Another trick by upholsterers is to take sawdust and glue and rub it into all the tack holes. This creates a hard area where tacks can be held to the frame. Actually, this whole chair has had so much damage to it, it's beyond repair and a loss of money.